5 steps to create an invincible investor. That's the topic for today's episode. And without further ado, let's dive in. Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode at Novarise Invest. For those who are tuning in for the first time, this is your channel for real estate education. So today's episode will be all about mindset, right? What is it that you need to do or you need to start practicing in order to become that person, that excellent investor that you're thriving to become? And for that, what we're going to do, we're going to go straight into my tablet and see what I have prepared for you. Tip number 1, be aware of your finances. So be aware of finances. Now, you might be wondering, why is it important? I hate budgeting. I don't like to do budgeting. Well, if you're not aware of your finances, then you wouldn't know how much money you have available. If you're not aware of your finances, then you don't know what your credit is looking like, and therefore you will not be able to build any type of business relationship possible with the bank or even a mortgage broker. Nobody likes to do business with someone who doesn't know how to handle their finances well. So once you are aware of your finances and once you know how to manage your finances responsibly, that will allow you to access OPM. And what is OPM? OPM stands for other people's money. And you might be wondering, wow, what other people's money? Like, what is it? Like, what are examples of that? Well, examples of other people's money are credit cards, right? Because we're talking about the bank's money. Another example of other people's money are mortgages, right? Because banks, they have access to capital and they get access to that capital through the savings of other people and yada yada. And then once they accumulate enough money from their clients, they take that, they package it in a loan as a mortgage, and they issue that to you so that they can also make money off of you in interest. Other examples of OPM will also be personal loans, car loans, you name it, right? So in order for you to get access to either one of these, right, you need to get a hold of your finances, because you need to prove that you're responsible. You need to know where you stand. You need to know how far out are you into having the capital that you need to get access to in order to fulfill your dream or your role as a real estate investor. So now, second tip that you need to have is to learn to communicate well. Communication is key. Why? Because communication will allow you to negotiate, and then it will allow you to sell. How does that work? Well, you need to be able to negotiate because you need to negotiate the best deals as possible, right? That's how you make money. You make money in the buy. If you don't know how to negotiate your deals, then you will be overpaying for all of those properties, and therefore you will not be making any profit. You also need to negotiate so you can negotiate your commission if you decide to become a realtor. And you also need to be able to negotiate the cost of your building materials. If you don't know how to do any of that, then what's the whole point of doing business? You will always be at a negative. You will never be able to make a profit on your deals. And it's also very important that you sell. Why? Because if you don't know how to sell, then nobody will know who you are. People won't know how great of a real estate investor you are. People won't know what a great rental you have available in market or any other type of great housing that you could be selling to the next home buyer or the next investor, just because of the fact that you don't know how to sell. Sell it is very important. And how do you sell? You need to be a great communicator, because unless you know how to communicate, you will not be able to negotiate and you will not be able to sell. Now, next tip, be humble. It is very important that you keep that in mind all the time. Don't be like that kind of person who thinks you cannot learn anything new because you basically know everything. Regardless of where you are in life, there's always an opportunity for you to learn, regardless. Those who are parents, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. How many of you can say that your kid doesn't teach you something new every single day? You learn something. Even if it's small, you always learn something. So always be humble, because if you're not humble and you don't strike to learn and be better than you were yesterday, your competition is going to come in and wipe you out. Take Motorola as an example. Have you seen any of their phones around? No, because Apple and Samsung came in and they just simply took them out of the cell phone competition, right? So don't be that kind of person. Always learn something new. Always do research. Always be aware of the latest market market trends, always be aware of what is it that people are looking to get in their house. If you come to think of it, the style that your parents or your grandparents used to like in the house are no longer the same style that the younger generation is looking to have in their home. So you need to be aware of all of that. What is the next durable construction material that's going to help you save a ton of money when it comes to remodeling or building up a new house? So you need to be aware of all that, and you cannot get to that point unless you're willing to learn, unless you're willing to explore and just simply be humble, take a step back, and then acknowledge the fact that there will always be somebody who knows a little bit more than you, and that you can definitely learn a lot from them, right? Now, moving along, let's go on to the next point. But before we do that, if you're enjoying this episode, then not forget to hit the like button right here so you can help this episode rank and help others like you who are looking for information of this kind. And if you happen to know somebody who is looking for this kind of information, call it a friend or a family member, feel free to share the love and send this episode their way so that they can get access to this information. Now, back to the tablet. What is the next tip that I have for you? And that is, don't be cheap. I know that as an investor, we're all looking into numbers. We're always looking for ways to maximize our money and to be able to make the most profit as possible. However, isn't that this whole idea of investing in real estate to help you get passive income, to help you generate enough income so you can build memories with your loved ones, with your families, and then live a happier life? Well, that's when the don't be cheap comment comes from. How many of you have grown up in an environment where your parents or where your loved ones, they want to do everything themselves? They want to go ahead and fix the sink themselves. They want to go and manage the property themselves. Everything has to be done by themselves just so they don't have to pay that 1%, that 2%, or that 3% to the realtor, to anybody, because they want to get all that profit for themselves. Yes, I understand. It is great that you can do that, that you have the skills to do that when you are in expansion mode, when you're trying to build up your real estate portfolio from the ground up. Because yes, I understand you have to maximize every cent, every dollar possible so that you can take that money and continue to expand your real estate portfolio. But once you get to a point where you can actually sit back and relax and build those new memories, there's no point on you wanting to be cheap all the time, because the years are going to go by and you're going to be fixing sinks yourself. You're going to be fixing everything yourself, doing it all yourself. And then when you become older and you want to, let's say, build those memories with your kids, they're all grown up. They don't want to be with you. Or let's say if you want to take some time and go out on a vacation or connect with your spouse, they might no longer be there waiting for you. So it is very important for you to take that into consideration and don't be cheap. Yes, save money, maximize every dollar you have whenever you can, but don't go overboard and don't go above and beyond to the point that you're actually repelling everyone that loves you and everyone who's looking to build that happy memory with you. And on to that next tip. Always create a win-win situation. So create a win-win situation for everybody. What is a win-win situation for everybody? And I always like to use a realtor, for example. A realtor, it's basically our best friend when it comes to the real estate investing business. Our realtor does the market research for you. Our realtor does the market comparables for you. And if you have any properties for sale, your realtor will be responsible for showing your property. So that way you don't have to keep coming back and forth and keeping, yourself busy with having to show the property. And they do all of that at only a small percentage of your sales price. And a lot of people seem to not want to understand that. They want their power team to work for them for free, and then they want to pocket all the income. They want to pocket all the gains out of it. And it cannot work that way. If you want to go in business and you want to keep your power team by your side, you have to be willing to create a win-win situation both ways. So in this case, how are you gaining in this equation? Well, you're getting your property sold, you're getting a fair price because your realtor did all the research, and you are getting time that you don't have to spend showing the property to your prospective buyers. And what is your realtor gaining? Well, they're getting a commission so that they can pay your bills, they can pay their team members as well, and they possibly could get a referral from you because they also want to continue to expand and grow their business as well. And that is how you create a win-win situation for everybody. Everybody everybody involved in that equation, everybody involved in that business transaction with you has to be winning something as well. And that is pretty much all I have for you today. Hopefully you found this episode valuable. And while I still have you here, do not forget to check this episode right here. That's going to help you complement everything you just learned today. And until then, I'll see you guys next time. Take care. Bye-bye.